this priority progressively opens up the space, and therefore the mindset can go further and further. That's why it is said that, okay, so if we do the first 10 nicely, then it opens up space for the next 10. And if we do the first 20 nicely, then we will be able to fit other 44 in. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So that's why it said that, okay, if you're too much bogged down with the 64, then you just consider first 10. And Srila Prabhupada is even summarizing it further. He's saying that, okay, if you want to take very little, it seems to be too much around, don't even take 10, take only 5. Is it not? Worshipping the deities, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Dhammas, and what else is there? Chanting the holy names, and associating with devotees. Sankirtan and association of devotees. 5 items. So this is quite interesting. This is quite interesting. So therefore, we see that it is only a rigorous practice which can intensify our devotional service. The more rigorously we practice, the more we will have strength and enthusiasm. That's the point. And the very important point to remember is that practice in a singleton standalone fashion is very, very difficult. If it is installed in the culture, it becomes quite easy to take it up. See, in 11 to 20, there are many interesting things. One is, one should not be under the spell of lamentation or loss and jubilation and gain. See, this is again possible. Yeah. He says, one should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. One should offer respect to every living entity. So see, this is an interesting point. Yeah, one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. Means what? Any newcomer is also coming. Don't deal with a neglectful way. We should understand what is our responsibility. Even in an ordinary sense, one should be happy to do that. Therefore, Prabhupada said, one should be gentlemanly. So many interesting things are there here. This lamentation in loss and jubilation and gain. So this is the point. See, this is possible when one is activity oriented. So we should not stop by and start tasting the activities. Oh, how is the atmosphere now? Wonderful. Like that. So if one is activity oriented, so in between two activities, one should not give too much time. Other than sit and start tasting what has happened. So if something good has happened, either it will be good or bad. If bad has happened, one will cry. If good has happened, he will be jubilate. But if there is no time to sit down and taste it, then neither one then one can actually follow this principle. Well, one says whatever is done. Just like exam time, no? There is no time. Suppose there are exams in one series, one every day, one. There's no time to think what has gone right, what has gone wrong. Is it not? It's gone means gone. Think about the next. Gone means gone. Is it not? Right? So it becomes easier. Like sometimes people give competitive examinations. 1 month, 10 exams. No? So it doesn't matter which has got what. You keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. Like that. How long we should keep doing? The whole life. You know? You know? The whole life we keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. Like that. That's the point. Okay, so this completes chapter 6. In between two services, there are gaps. So we can fill those gaps. There's no problem in filling those gaps. One can fill those gaps. Uh, uh, so slowly, as one goes ahead, one should own up ongoing service. Ongoing service means it never ends. Like that. Ongoing service which never ends. Like that's why we say, okay, initially when one comes to Krishna consciousness, first year, second year, they may take very fixed service. If at all they take, okay, serving. How much time it is, Prabhu? 20 minutes. Okay, serving 20 minutes. Monday I have, Friday I have. And other days don't touch, So that's the starting point. That's the starting point. But slowly as one grows, like one takes responsibility. So responsibility means what you're responsible for it. So therefore one should go on driving it further. Is it not? Where is the ending? There is no ending. Like first year preaching, where is the ending? Like first year preaching, where is the ending? There is no ending actually. It goes whole year, immediately the next batch comes, move, forward, move forward. Is it not? There is no ending. So so one can always when action is not there, planning can be there. No, like that. Not that we say, okay, now it's off. Now it's off. That's the point. The US start developing programs for preparation to the service. So ongoing service, and so basically, and the other point is that, okay, if we feel that, okay, there is a gap and there is nothing to do, I mean, we can offer. There are many things which are always pending. No, there are many things in the community which are always pending, like that. Many services in the community which are always pending. One can always take up books and go for book distribution. That one can do any, no problem. Is it not? And one can always take a broom and clean some area. Is it not? No, there are many things which are no which go pending. Actually, they're important and they go pending. So sometimes, so that's the idea. That ongoing service. So responsibility taking is one thing. Other thing is there is when we observe around, wherever there is a need, we can help if we feel we are available. That is the point. So that's the idea. That's the idea. Yeah. Okay, so there was a question that, okay, if one is in front of the temple, one should stand up. Uh, yeah, so standing up basically means offering respect to the deities. You know, uh, it basically means offering respect to the deities. And it also means alertness. So, okay, we offer obeisances. After that, what do we do? One should not sit and gaze at the deities. That's what it means. You know? Don't sit in a relaxed armchair and gaze at the deities. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Stand up means one is alert and one is offering respect. No? And one is saying, no, no, I am available for you. Like that. That's what it means actually. So it is good that Krishna consciousness is not fixed. The fixity, what we do is a minimum fixity. It is not maximum fixity. Is it not? Like we say, okay, every beginning of the year we'll go to whatever blocks are allotted to us, and we go and preach. That is minimum actually. One can anytime also get up and go and catch some 6 people and start a group. It's possible, is it not? So whatever we do is minimum, and it is good. So fixity is there so that we don't glide below a certain standard, and we raise that bar slowly. We raise the standard slowly. That is a fixity. But actually engagement is continuum. Actually engagement is continuum. That's the idea. Okay, so we'll start chapter 7 then. So now each of the okay, so now chapter 7 is about evidence regarding devotional principles. So 7 and yeah, evidence regarding devotional principles. Yes. So many of the principles are a little bit more elaborated. So basically, evidence is given from the Shastras. Accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter, verse 2, Prabhupada tells, Prabhuddha tells Maharaj Nimi, my dear king, please know for certain that in the material world there is no happiness. It is simply a mistake to think that there is happiness here. Because this place is full of nothing but miserable conditions. Any person who seriously desirous of achieving real happiness must seek out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of a spiritual master is that he must have realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and arguments, and thus be able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, leaving aside all material considerations, are to be understood as bona fide spiritual masters. Everyone should try to find such a bona fide spiritual master in order to fulfill his mission of life, which is to transfer himself to the plane of spiritual bliss. The purport is that one should not accept as a spiritual master someone who is a fool number one, who has no direction according to the scriptural injunctions, whose character is doubtful, who does not follow the principles of devotional service, or who has not conquered the influence of the 6 sense gratifying agents. The 6 agents of sense gratification are tongue, genitals, belly, anger, mind, and words. Anyone who has practiced controlling these 6 is permitted to make disciples all over the world. To accept such a spiritual master is a crucial point for advancement in spiritual life. One who is fortunate enough To come under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master is sure to traverse the path of spiritual salvation without any doubt. So, in the qualifications for spiritual master, it is said that by deliberation and arguments, no one who has realized the conclusions of the Shastras. So deliberation means churning mentally also, and deliberation also means practice in behavior. So by that he has realized, and arguments. Different types of questions. He can explain Krishna consciousness from various perspectives. So it also includes, arguments also include that he can handle various kinds of situations and be steadfast in Krishna consciousness. Means he can perceive various kinds of situations in a Krishna conscious way, and he can act in various kinds of situations in a Krishna conscious way. Only such a person is qualified to be a spiritual master. Now Prabhupada is talking about the 6 agents of sense gratification: the tongue, the belly, the genitals, and anger, mind, and words. So the point is that he said that, okay, a genuine spiritual master should have conquered all these 6 agents of sense gratification. Should be able to control, Then that's a crucial point. It is being mentioned. So now, so one is choosing such a spiritual master who has conquered these 6 agents of sense gratification. One is choosing such a spiritual master. Now, a person who is choosing such a spiritual master, for what he is choosing something? For what he is choosing something? Because the learner also has to acquire the same 6. Is it not? Control over the same 6. Is it not? Like say, for example, in research, a person chooses a particular professor to be his guide or mentor. So then a person chooses, sees that, okay, he is expert in that area. And that's what he evaluates. And then he says, okay, sir, can you be my mentor? Can you guide me? So what is the guidance one needs? One wants to learn that particular area only, where, which is where one is evaluating the professor, is it not? Right? If the professor is very good in AI, so then the student will also learn AI. The student will not learn Sanskrit being under an AI professor. Is it not? In a similar way, when we say qualification of spiritual master, that means the disciple also has to learn the same principles. But the spiritual master is expert at it, and the disciple, by learning from the spiritual master, he develops footing on it. Greater and greater footing on it. That's the point. So we'll read further. Accepting initiation from the spiritual master and receiving instructions from him. Sage Prabhupada continued to speak to the king as follows. My dear king, a disciple has to accept a spiritual master, not only as a spiritual master, but also as a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Super Soul. In other words, the disciple should accept the spiritual master as God, because he is the external manifestation of Krishna. This is confirmed in every scripture, and disciples should accept the spiritual master as such. One should learn Srimad Bhagavatam seriously and with all respect and veneration for the spiritual master. Hearing and speaking Srimad Bhagavatam is a religious process which elevates one to the platform of serving and loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The attitude of the disciple should be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. then it will be very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. This is confirmed in the Vedas, and Rupa Goswami will further explain that a person who has unflinching faith in God and the spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. Serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence. Regarding accepting initiation from the spiritual master, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 17th chapter, verse 27, it is stated by Lord Krishna, my dear Uddhava, the spiritual master must be accepted not only as my representative, but my very self. He must never be considered on the same level as an ordinary human being. One should never be envious of the spiritual master, as one may be envious of an ordinary man. The spiritual master should always be seen as a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by serving the spiritual master, one is able to serve all the demigods. So the whole point is that, you see, the seriousness of spiritual life is equated to accepting the spiritual master. So that's what is, as a thumb rule, it's equated as, okay, one is serious in spiritual life means one will accept a spiritual master. Now the interesting point here is that see, accepting the spiritual master means, doesn't mean taking the beads from him, and taking a new name from him and take new beads and new name, and that's it. And become a His Grace, yeah, so that is not accepting spiritual master. When we say accepting spiritual master means, it's not that, okay, so you see the word is, so what should the word mean? The word does not mean that, okay, of all the spiritual master, we are accepting one particular spiritual master. Okay, I'm increasing your disciple count by +1. Okay, I'm accepting you and not others. That is not the kind of accepting which the Vedas are talking about. So we are not doing a favor on the spiritual master to accept him that, okay, I am increasing your fan following by 1. And because of me, my so many candies will also increase. So I am getting so much vote power, yeah, whatever, so stat power for you, That's not the idea of accepting. The idea of accepting is there. So what is accepting? Accepting what? Accepting spiritual master means what? Accepting spiritual master means accepting the spiritual master as the most important person in our life. That is the meaning. Accepting spiritual master. It says, no, accepting spiritual master. So that's the meaning of, so when we accept the spiritual master, the most important person, so that's the meaning of accepting the shelter, of bona fide spiritual master. And then one should accept initiation. But okay, accepting the spiritual master is the most important person in my life. Not that the manager in the company is the most important person, or the father, mother are the most important person, or the wife is the most important person. No, or the husband is the most important person, or the son, daughters are most important. No, spiritual master is the most important person. All others subsidiary, secondary, tertiary. Accepting the spiritual master. This is the meaning of initiation, actually. This is the meaning of preparing ourselves for initiation, like that. So in our scenario, when we are taking initiation, we're not only accepting our Diksha Guru, but we are accepting Srila Prabhupada also the most important person, is it not? And that is how all the acharyas. So accepting, formally accepting that okay, you're the most important person in my life, not boss or manager or father, mother or wife, children, husband, children, whatever. That's the point. So that is why. So now further he says, now further Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is telling that now spiritual master should not be seen as an ordinary person. Yes, one should be very careful to that regard. One should not see spiritual master as an ordinary person. Therefore it is said, deities and saintly devotees, both are like fire. So fire is necessary. You cannot cook anything without fire. Can somebody cook anything without fire? So similarly, we want to cook anything in spiritual life. We cannot cook without the fire, neither without the deities nor without the saintly people. But one has to be careful with fire. So therefore, if we are too distant, we will die in cold. If we are too close, we'll burn. So taking spiritual masters often as ordinary is going to be highly poisonous, offensive, is it not? So you go too close, we are likely to burn, is it not? Very strongly. Go too far, so we go close for some time, understand things, then execute, circumambulating around, revolving around, is it not? That way. Too far only lost. One should not go too far. But one should not go too close. Okay, let me minute to minute watch, what the spiritual master is. By you do your service, right? You do your service, don't hang on the Guru. That okay, Guru, so you do your service, whatever is needed for that, the Guru is anyways, giving us association. And whenever needed, one can go close to take association. And but that's the point. That Guru, taking Guru to be an ordinary person is very offensive. Then one will be mundane. Then that flow of devotional energy, the spiritual energy will stop. That's the point. So now the next point is following in the footsteps of the saintly person. In the Skanda Purana, it is advised that a devotee follow the past acharyas and the saintly persons, because by such following one can achieve the desired results with no chance of lamenting or being baffled in the progress. The scripture known as Brahma Yamala states as follows. If someone wants to pose himself as a great devotee without following the authorities of the revealed scriptures, then his activities will never help him to progress in devotional service. Instead, he will simply create disturbance for the sincere students of devotional service. Those who do not strictly follow the principles of revealed scriptures are generally called sahajiyas. Those who have imagined everything to be cheap, who have their own concocted ideas and who do not follow the scriptural injunctions. Such people are simply creating disturbance in the discharge of devotional service. In this connection, an objection may be raised by those who are not in devotional service and who do not care for the revealed scriptures. An example of this is seen in Buddhist philosophy. Lord Buddha appeared in the family of a higher grade Kshatriya king, but his philosophy was not in accord with the Vedic conclusions and therefore was rejected. Under the patronage of a Hindu king, Maharaj Ashoka, the Buddhist religion was spread all over India and the adjoining countries. However, after the disappearance of the great stalwart teacher, or after the appearance of the great stalwart teacher Shankaracharya, this Buddhism was driven out beyond the borders of India. The Buddhists or other religionists who do not care for revealed scriptures sometimes say that there are many devotees of Lord Buddha who show devotional service to Lord Buddha and who therefore should be considered devotees. In answer to his argument, Rupa Goswami says that the followers of Buddha cannot be accepted as devotees. Although Lord Buddha is accepted as an incarnation of Krishna, followers of such incarnations are not very advanced in their knowledge of the Vedas. To study the Vedas means to come to the conclusion of the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, any religious principle which denies the supreme personality of Godhead is not accepted and is called atheism. Atheism means defying the authority of the Vedas by decrying the great acharyas who teach Vedic scriptures for the benefit of people in general. Lord Buddha is accepted as an incarnation of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but in the same Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated that Lord Buddha appeared in order to bewilder the atheistic class of men. Therefore, his philosophy is meant for bewildering the atheists and should not be accepted. If someone asks why should Krishna propagate atheistic principles, the answer is that it was a desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to end the violence which was then being committed in the name of the Vedas. The so-called religionists were falsely using the Vedas to justify such violent acts as meat eating, and Lord Buddha came to lead the fallen people away from such a false interpretation of the Vedas. Also, for the atheists, Lord Buddha preached atheism so that they would follow him and thus be tricked into devotional service by Lord Buddha or Krishna. So, following in the footsteps is an essential principle. It means that, following in the footsteps ensures that one is in the continuous tense and one is in the present tense. So, it's not that one takes instructions about spiritual life once and then one is in his own world. Now, one should again and again not take further instructions and learn. That will be a check also whether we are in the right direction or not. Is it not? So it is said that in spiritual life, one should always be looking up. Because we are advancing, our seniors are also advancing, and we keep looking at them, we'll go on advancing, is it not? That's the point. So if you look down, we will fall. If you look around, you will be bewildered. The best is to look up, is it not? You look down, you'll fall down. If you look around, you'll be bewildered. Best strategy is to look up. So therefore, hearing is always hearing in the present tense, actually. So hearing in the past, with the passage of time, we may go on adding. See, that's why we have to hear again and again, because sometimes the passage of time, many a times what happens is that we keep on adding various things. And therefore the message and the instructions goes on diluting. Again you hear, again the priority set right. Because sometimes, because of misinterpretation and because of imagination and hallucination, a person may go dilute with the message. Again one has to hear direct. Again one has to hear direct. Again one has to hear direct. Is it not? If you go around, people say, oh, you need not get up at 3:30 in the morning. You can get up at 5 o'clock and start by 5:30, no problem. Sometimes people will say that. So, So following in the footsteps can purify us, like that. So it can actually detoxify the viruses. Therefore, we say nityam. Now constantly take association. Here in the present tense. That's the point. Okay, inquiring about the religious principles. In the Naradiya Purana, it is said, if one is actually very serious about devotional service, then all of his purposes will be served without any delay. Yeah. Being prepared to give up everything material for Krishna's satisfaction. Or in the Padma Purana, it is said, for one who has given up his material sense enjoyment and has accepted the principle of devotional services, the opulence of Vrindavan is awaiting. Yeah. Vishnu Loka. Oh, the opulence of Vishnu Loka. Residing in a sacred place. In the Skanda Puran, it is also said that for a person who has lived in Dwaraka for 6 months, for 1 month, and even for a fortnight, there is awaiting elevation to the Vaikuntha Lokas and all the profits of Sarupya Mukti in same form. In the Brahma Puran, it is said the transcendental significance of Purushottam Kshetra, which is the 80 square mile field of Lord Jagannath, cannot be properly described. Even the demigods from higher planets, higher planetary system, see the inhabitants of this Jagannath Puri as having exactly the same bodily features possessed by one in Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha, sorry. That is, the demigods see the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri as being four-handed. So when there was a meeting of great sages at Naimicharanya, Suta Goswami